we're talking about a stock, South African based, of course, with a German partial European footprint, and that is Steinhoff, furniture and household goods, clothing retailer. Big assets here in Africa, of course, with Pepkor, Europe with Conforama, and in Australasia and the US. Listed in Frankfurt, though. I don't think people will remember the sort of wing-wang flip-flop thing that they did in order to transfer into those markets. Market capitalization of 276.6 billion rand. That's, I don't know how many billion euros. Price to earnings ratio of 13.4. Dividend yield of 3.46. For those watching from home, just give us a quick corporate history here and how Marcus Jooste ended up with this entity being Frankfurt listed.
Okay, so it was South African based. It has its roots in South Africa, the old Bruno Steinhoff, which was a furniture business really. And they slowly did acquisitions, you know, they bought into, I think they had the Timber City franchise and they ended up buying
Goma and all those kind of
furniture
assets.
Manufacturers. And over time, it just became, you know, this convolution.
Because Bruno Steinhoff was German and he had assets in Europe that they then agreed to put into a single listing. Then they went back and bought Conforama from Printemps or whoever they were, big French group that became Gucci, etc.
So, I mean, now they own assets in the US, Mattress King or Sleepy's. It's been rebranded now. They've got significant footprint in the UK as well. So
that's called Poundland, right?
It's Poundland, and then they've got
store.
Benson for beds. They do bed manufacturing in the UK as well. So I think when they got involved in Mattress King, and a lot of people said, well, what do they know about mattresses? But they make mattresses in the UK and they make mattresses here as well. So they have a fairly, I mean, recently the acquisition they did was Pepkor, out of the whole Christo Visa stable.
And that gives Christo Visa like a 20% plus stake in the enlarged overall group.
Yeah.
So that's interesting then. So you've got discount, wholesale, furniture and other warehousing type operations. And then Pepkor though is more sort of household, bit of clothing, that sort of thing, and big too.
Yeah, so you've got sort of, what do you call it, appliances and furniture on the one end, and you've got clothing and cellular.
Although I suppose at some level it's all about quality management, facility management, and logistics.
Yeah, so
sourcing.
It's about vertical integration. So they manufacture and you know they retail and they provide the supply chain as well. But they also, the target consumer is the sort of the middle class.
Yes.
So
although they don't get involved in banking, so they're not like a kind of African bank type model where they want to lend money to their customers. In general, they prefer to have their customers either paying cash or using, you know, gearing from somewhere else.
Yeah. So Pep may be doing a little bit of that sort of lending, you know, through various channels, but certainly it's not significant.
Let's have a look at the share chart, because this will reflect a few years of history. So we've wrapped up the old SNH and the current share code, so that's all good and well. So that's fine. You can see though that it hit an all-time high of around 95 rands a share back in sort of June, well, actually prior to that, 2016, but it's been a bit weak since then, which is, I suppose, a combination of slightly anxious South African-oriented retail, plus a sense maybe that there was trouble to come in Europe, and a bit of a concern that might be overextending themselves with all these recent acquisitions.
Well. You know, you had the rand was at much higher levels in sort of 2015, 2016 than where we are right now. But you're absolutely right. There is concerns around the bedding down of the acquisitions that they've done. You know, so far so good. I think they are doing a good job. And you know, they had to cancel the manufacturing contract with Tempur Sealy, which was a big impact.
So that's in the US, where with mattress firm Sleepy's, they said, listen, we're not interested in selling other people's stuff anymore. We're now going to sell stuff that we produce ourselves.
Yeah,
quite a bold move.
And hopefully they get that right. You're going to have to back them to do so. I mean, they've shown that they're very capable of doing the vertical integration.
Because Marcus Jooste, who is the head of this company, and Dani van der Merwe, his sidekick, they are astonishing operators. Basically, you know, the headquarters of this company is wherever their plane is, because they just move around, and their key issue really is just the basics. They want to see who's running the business, make sure that they are in the office doing what they want to do, and just like operational excellence.
And they, I mean, the reason behind their growth is they've been growing their footprint. You know, in specific areas in unloved sort of sectors. When they bought Conforama, people were very critical about French furniture companies, especially with what Europe was going through at that stage.
Stores and anxiety around, the Euro project, 2011, 2012, Greece, all of that stuff.
But you're going to hand it to them.
They just stuck to their guns.
They took a view and they've turned that business around quite substantially.
And remember, they acquired in the process quite a lot of very attractive leases and, in fact, in some instances, actual buildings
Properties
in all
as well.
cities of Europe that are hard to replicate. And all they've done again is make tweaks the model, work out where the stuff's coming from, sort out sourcing relationships for all the white goods and brown goods that they supply in these stores. Okay, listen, we do need to go hot or not. We're short of time. So as far as Steinhoff is concerned,
I'm hot on Steinhoff.
You're hot on Steinhoff. Okay, good. I am too. I mean, I think it's got a lot of work to do, but the guys are putting their shoulder to the wheel, and clearly it will be positive for them that there'll be a general calming down of any sorts of anxiety with regard to the Eurozone. So you might see them go slightly higher now, but the real key issue might be after the 7th of May when the election happens. If Macron comes in, that will also be a positive benefit for them.
Yeah.
Okay, good.